So today I will be starting my class on flight adaptations in birds. For this I will start sharing my screen. Is my screen visible? Whiteboard visible? Whiteboard visible?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So we are actually in your syllabus it is adaptation of birds from terrestrial to aerial mode of life. So this actually this is not a good topic. Actually the thing is the topic can be, it's not a good way to say this state. The topic, actually the better topic is flight adaptation of birds. So flight adaptation has got another term that is known as volant adaptation. So what do you mean by flight adaptation of bird? So there are the certain structures or physiological or metabolical certain adaptations so that the bird can live in a live a aerial mode of life. So we will it is now very well established that the birds, they originated from reptiles. It is now established. That is because they found a missing link, a bird known as Archaeopteryx, which had characteristics of both birds as well as reptiles. They had small power of flight. So basically they were not very good flyers, but they had flies. So Archaeopteryx, a fossil was found. So from pictures, you may have seen Archaeopteryx fossils from pictures. You will see, it seems that it was a huge thing, but actually it's the size of a crow. So it was a very small bird. So from terrestrial reptiles, to airborne birds, they had certain adaptations which made it possible. And now what are these types of adaptation? The first, let us talk about the external modifications. What are the external modifications? First, let's talk about body contour or body shape. So if you look at the shape of a bird, if you look at the shape of the bird, you will see that it's got a very streamlined shape. So that when the bird is flying, there is least resistance. If a structure comes out from here, a structure comes out from here, a structure comes out from here, what will happen? The wind will face a resistance and that will obstruct flight. So the body contour is very streamlined, more like a spindle shaped. Peacock doesn't have a spindle shaped body, therefore it can't fly. Or chicken. Spindle shape. Spindle is something like this. So that wind will smoothly flow from here, smoothly flow from here, least obstruction. Least obstruction during flight. So the next character is compact body. So what do you mean by compact body? It means attachment of wings high upon the thorax then disposition of light organs like lungs and sacs dorsally. So lungs and air sacs, they are on the back side, that is on the upper side, dorsal, पीठ के side. And so this is basically the body is compact. All organs are fitted snugly and light. So this is the second thing. Next is body covered by feathers. Because of the presence of feathers, and because of these feathers, the body contour is streamlined and smooth. The feathers also insulate and protect the body during flight. So when the bird is flying, first thing is it these feathers, they reduce friction. So because of the feathers present, the air smoothly flows over the body without least resistance, and since they are flying at high altitude, it can be cold and direct exposure to UV light. So these feathers also, they provide protection. This is one more characteristics. And of course you know this one, their forelimbs modified into wings. This is very clear, they are modified into wings. So there are different types of wing modifications. The wings can be one elliptical. So elliptical wings, the wings can be high speed wings, it can be active soaring wings, it can be broad soaring wings, it can be hovering wings. So there are other wings like tail wings and all these things, but these are the main types of wings. You have different wing shapes. So elliptical wings, basically they are for quick ascent or descent. They fly at moderate speed. They need to fly very fast and then they need to sit very fast. For example, in sparrows, crows, ravens, from one place to another place, they need to, there is food, they suddenly they fly fast and then they land fast. They can take off very fast and they can land very fast. So their wings are elliptical. Then you have the high speed wings. These types of wings are long and thin. Pointed tips. For example, in falcons you can see this. Falcons, some types of ducks, they need to fly very fast. Then you have active soaring wings. सोरिंग माने हवा में दे कैन फ्लोट. सोर ऐसे करके दे फ्लोट, इधर इधर इधर, दे ग्लाइड एंड दे फ्लोट like this. Their wings are also narrow. Example, you know, albatross. They fly for long durations. Glide. Then you have the wings of eagles. They are broad. So these broad wings for eagles, for they have to glide for a long time to catch their prey. Then there is a bird known as hovering. That is, this like in hummingbirds. They are small birds. They are so small birds. They beat their wings so rapidly that it seems that they are stuck in one place, and that is known as hovering. Actually, this is a type of flight known as hovering flight. Now let us they have some birds, they have other modifications include they have got shorter tails. When they are flying, a long tail is a hindrance. Then you have their hind limbs. Adapted for perching. So if this is a perching, means they can hold on to something and they can grasp and they can perch, but ducks and all, they cannot perch. Then of course they have got bipedal locomotion. They have got mobile neck and head. They have got one single occipital condyle. Result is they can turn their neck 180 degrees. पूरा पीछे घुमा सकता है. So the 180 degree, if they can turn their neck, they have got a 360 degree vision. This is another adaptation. Then let us see some internal modifications. What are the internal modifications in birds? So their body needs to be light and rigid. So how is it achieved? So pneumatic bones. If you look at a chicken bone section, you will see that there are a lot of air spaces in between bone elements. If this is the bone which is going, there are a lot of air filled spaces, these pneumatic bones. This makes the bone very hard and light. चिकन का हड्डी कोई खाता नहीं है, उसीलिए वेरी न्यूमेटिक, वेरी हार्ड, दांत टूट सकता है, मटन का हड्डी जैसा नहीं है. All thoracic vertebrae. Next is all thoracic vertebrae except the last are fused into a single mass. एक एक वर्टिब्रा लास्ट वाला छोड़ के एक सिंगल मास फ्यूज हो गया. एंड द रिजल्ट ऑफ दिस, द वर्टिब्रल कॉलम is firm and hard. Then they have got a type of vertebrae I will explain later. This is heterocoelous vertebrae. It's good for flight. Then let us talk about another feature, and that is the caudal vertebra is shortened, and those tails that is fused to form the pygostyle. All these adaptations make it very light, compact and suitable for flight. Now let us look at some modifications for continuous supply of energy. Now what are these modifications? They have got a high digestion efficiency. Heart is comparatively larger. And efficiently carries more nutrients and respiratory gases. So next one is respiration rate. Is 30 per minute. So every 2 seconds one breath. Body temperature high, 107 Fahrenheit to 110 Fahrenheit. If you have such a temperature, you will die. High temperature for so then we come across certain muscle arrangements. So let us now have a look at a picture of a muscle. Let me send this to you. So this is about the bird muscle, a short nice part which I have found on the internet. So let's copy this image. And paste it here. So if you look at this, you will see the following muscles. This is the pectoralis muscle. Let's use a different color. It pulls the wings down. Then you have the supracoracoides muscle. This is the supracoracoides muscle. This is used to raise the wings. Then you have the triceps. A false knee is present. Lower leg muscles are present. This is the thigh muscles are present. So the breast muscles which you eat actually, which is attached to this bone keel, your breast muscles, this is the keel, chest ka haddi, chicken ka haddi, to that is attached the breast piece. Less fat, more high energy, high protein content. Then you have the thigh muscles, and of course you have the forearm muscles. So if we look at the muscles, this part in more details, you see the pectoralis muscle. When it contracts, when this muscle contracts, when the pectoralis muscle contracts, contracts means this becomes smaller. Smaller. So it pulls this. This is for pulling the wings. And then you have the coracoid shoulder muscles. what it happens, it pulls the wings upwards, and one, because of this pull, the wing goes up, and when this contracts, this pulls the wings down. So when it pulls it down, it gives a force to raise. So the flight of a bird has got 4 action. 1, lift, and 1 is gravity which pulls it down. Then 1 is there is a thrust which pushes it forward. This is the thrust, and friction which pulls it back. It's known as drag. So there are 4 things. So these are the major muscles for flight. Next feature we will be talking is modifications for balancing and modifications for balancing and navigation. So it is very important where the center of gravity remains. So the center of gravity, this lies between the 2 wings. So when you are standing, your center of gravity is in your hip. Another pressure in your body is near your neck. So these are the 2 regions where the head center of gravity goes to your neck and your whole body center of gravity near the hip. So a good place where you have spondylitis. So if you have a structure like this, the average position where the maximum weight falls is known as the center of gravity, where gravitation maximum power of gravity hits. Say the structure of an object is like this. So you can calculate where the center of gravity stays. That is the point which has to be the hardest or the firmest. So but in the case of a bird, this is a bird or any flight, the center of gravity is between the wings, so that this region is the strongest and firmest region. Then of course you have the presence of air sacs inside the body. हवा का थोड़ा थोड़ा sacs होता है, and that has sac actually helps to float in air. হ্যাঁ বলো প্রীতদীপ, কিছু বলছিলে?
এয়ার স্যাক্স কি প্রত্যেকটা পাখির ক্ষেত্রে ডিফার করে? মানে
মোটামুটি সেম থাকে, মোটামুটি সেম থাকে। ভলিউম কমে বা ভলিউম বাড়ে, মোটামুটি পিজিয়ানেরটা দেখলেই যথেষ্ট।
9 ইয়ার স্যাক্স,
9 ইয়ার স্যাক্স মোরালেস সেম। So with this actually we finish the flight adaptation in birds. Actually in bird chapter you have only this chapter. One more chapter, if I find time, I will go, and that is known as Aerodynamic Principles. I will talk about it sometime later after I finish other chapters. So let us get back to this meeting. Do you people have got any questions?
No, sir.
You don't have any questions. Very good. This is an easy chapter, but aerodynamics is not so easy. Therefore for that I will have to do it on another day. But in the next class we will talk about certain things about invertebrates, certain functions and features. Before we go to mammals, we will finish all the water vascular system and all canal system and all these little system polymorphisms. We had talked about it briefly, but we will talk about those systems. What are the remaining parts of invertebrates? After that we will go to ecology. So this is by the end of, I think your exams will be on from the 1st of April, right? Online exam. Nothing to, don't take tension. I will send all the notes. आराम से पढ़ो. गांगुली सिन्हा अधिकारी बुक नहीं मिला तो अमीनुल इस्लाम का बुक ले लेना, वर्टिब्रेट्स एंड नॉन वर्टिब्रेट्स. ये मिल जाएगा. यू विल गेट इकोलॉजी का बुक मिल जाएगा, पीडी शर्मा. वहाँ से एवरीथिंग इज आराम से सब रहेगा. यू कैन स्टडी. फिर कॉलेज में टीचर्स के नोट्स पढ़ लेना, जो जो दिया है वही से सब, वही लोग क्वेश्चंस वहीं से आएंगे. सो डोंट टेक टेंशन. ठीक है? Don't take tension and stay safe. Ending my class, okay? Bye bye then.
Okay, sir.
I will tell you when the next class is within 1 or 2 days. হ্যাঁ বলো প্রীতদীপ.
স্যার আমাদের ভাইবা কবে হবে?
ও হবে, চিন্তা করো না, আরামসে হয়ে যাবে. ও নিয়ে চাপ নিও না. Don't take tension about viva. ठीक है? Okay. Bye bye.